You're watching Burke's Backyard, and I'm sure you remember on last week's program, Pat Pirelli selected a Brumby from the wild and did some amazing things with it. Well, this week what we're doing is meeting some of the locals up there in the high country to see whether or not they use Brumbies and what they think of them. These are Australia's snowy mountains, the highest mountains in Australia. Now, it's fairly fragile. There's a lot of that is sort of alpine type community and horses running through there. Remember, they're not native to Australia. They can do a lot of damage. And I suppose that's led to a lot of people, conservationists and even some of the national parks people, loathing wild horses, even to the extent that in some areas they've been shooting them from helicopters. And this is the result of a recent shoot. Over 600 of these horses were shot, and some of them left in a pretty terrible condition. The people that hate them, the conservationists and the park rangers and so on, say some pretty terrible things about them. They're forever saying that they're full of parasites. Some of them are saying things like they're a motley inbred lot of poor general constitution and conformation, and you'd be lucky to get one useful horse out of every mob of about 20. In fact, in the Encyclopedia of the Horse, they go so far as to say that they're considered virtually impossible to break. But what's the other side to the story? Are these things vermin like rabbits and rats and mice, or do they have a place? Well, I suppose for the answer to that, we need to talk to the locals, the people that have been living here for a number of generations. Do they use these horses or not?
My father's been here since 1908, and he loved Brumby running. It was his ambition when he was a young fellow, he'd like to get a good horse he could run them down on, you know.
We want to be a good horse because it's going to take a damn good horse to run one down.
Yeah, if you rely on surprise, and that takes a bit of wind out of the Brumbies, and you've got to get on him quick, and if you can't catch him in the first mile, you won't catch him.
I suppose there'd be some people who'd say, Terry, you're a horrible father. You've gone and given your daughters Brumbies that'll probably kill them.
Yeah, some people would say that, but Brumby scene, you know, once you've seen you get a Brumby out of the wild and break it in, you can see for yourself, probably be the best kids' ponies out of the lot.
Well, they both look very, very robust. They don't strike me as the sort of horses you'd have to have the vet around every week.
No, never have the vet to them, no troubles with them. Just a shame to see so many of them being wasted.
Who's the better rider of you two?
Me. I've been riding. I've been riding for longer.
What's it like to ride a pure Brumby?
She's very quiet. And you can do lots of tricks on her.
What sort of tricks?
When she's in a really big wide open paddock with no saddle or bridle on, you can go up, pat her tail and just play with her. Sit on the back of her, sit on and slide off her neck. They're just a really good horse.
Obviously there would be some areas in which Brumbies would be better than conventionally bred horses. For instance, they've obviously got to have better legs and feet.
They've got terrific feet, Brumbies. They're all the Brumbies in this country, because it's fairly hard sort of country. They've got good feet. I had a Brumby years ago, I never ever shot him, never put shoes on him.
You do have Brumbies amongst the various horses that people ride.
Yes, find them, they become very quiet, plus they're fairly minimal care type horses. Particularly if they've been up around here, they're very good in the bogs, and they are survivors. They've evolved a way of surviving the elements, and they seem to be able to hold their condition much better than other horses.
You've basically got no movement below the pelvis?
I've sort of got no movement from the chest down. Dad used to lay a lot of horses down just as a restraining thing, just to teach them that they couldn't get away, or they couldn't buck, or they couldn't bolt. And I just started laying him down with the kids sort of on those principles. But getting to lay down and consistent and not to flop on the ground, that was that I found the hard part. I think he gets up better with me on him than he does just like if he's getting up natural. He gets up very slow, he gets up nice and even. Now I might tuck them feet in. I basically got pretty full control over him. If I didn't, I wouldn't be on him. And I got a lot of trust in him, and I think he's got a fair bit of trust in me. But
And his breeding?
he's out of a little Brumby mare come off the buckline by a thoroughbred horse.
So half Brumby breeding and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So what do we make of all this? Well, I suppose the first thing we have to admit is that a lot of what's said about the Brumbies is simply nonsense. That they're inbred is a silly thing to say. If there were any problems out there, those horses would die. Basically, these horses are particularly well conformed. They move well, great legs and feet. Nature selects for a very functional animal, far more functional than the ones that we people breed ourselves. We're nowhere near as good a breed as Mother Nature. Nonetheless, horses are not native to Australia. They're much bigger than the kangaroos that we have here, and equally they've got much harder feet, so they do a bit of damage. And there's no doubt, in some areas out there, particularly towards the top of it, the alpine regions, horses are probably too destructive and they need to be gotten rid of, and we do need to control their populations. But the bottom line, certainly in my opinion, is that the Brumby, the wild horse, will be part of these mountains behind me forever.